a boulder or something.
Hi, this is Rachel from Ray K Books, and today I'm interviewing Christine Bell. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, you are the author of the Brazen books. Or Brazen? Not Brazen. Brazen books. And can you
I think
please
we should call it Braden.
That works too. I'm a marketing person. Can't you
See that? I'll
tell?
talk to Heather. Yeah, I'll talk to the editorial director at Entangled, and I'll float the idea. Where we've been mispronouncing it the whole time.
Oh, you trying to make me feel better. Oh, you. Okay. So, can you please give everybody a synopsis of what the series is about?
Sure. So Brazen is a whole line of books at Entangled Publishing, and it's steamy, sort of erotic contemporary romance. And one of my series through the Brazen line is the Dare Me series. And basically, those books all start the romance off with a dare. So there's Down for the Count was my first book, and and just the concept allows for a lot of fun, flirtatious, a really like quick jump off into the tension and sort of fun conflict and sexy times. So it's a really fun series. And the Raisin Line is really great all together. There's lots of other authors who write for it, and it's a lot of fun. You guys should check it out.
I like me some sexy time. That's
Yeah.
sure. So we'll start with a Twitter question from Christine.
Okay.
And she asks, what is the one book you've continued to reread again and again?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a big rereader, so I actually have a lot of those. The whole Harry Potter series I've read and reread many times. But one book I always come back to, which is an oldie but a goodie, it's a book called If Tomorrow Comes by an author named Sidney Sheldon. And it's like has all the things I really like. It's got like a lot of push and pull tension between the hero and heroine, but it's also like a really gritty revenge story, and it's like she's a con artist and he's a con artist, and it's got all these like a lot of fun different cons that they do and pull on each other. They're always trying to one up each other, so it's got that fun like old style moonlighting or that sort of enemies to lovers type of tension. So it's super fun, and I love revenge plots anyway. That's always fun to see somebody get their comeuppance. Whenever somebody like dies in a movie or a book or a show, I always hope it's the person that really owes it to them that gives it to them. So that's a book I read probably annually.
Are you a fan of Game of Thrones? Because that is Game of Thrones.
I know. I love Game of Thrones. We are obsessed with Game of Thrones in my family. We actually build cakes, and I say build because that's what it is. We start like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a 12-hour deal. By the time you're done, you wish you were dead. You're covered in flour and fondant. My 16-year-old and my daughter-in-law do it with me, and we make dragon egg cakes, and they're actually, if you Google, like some of our cakes are out there on the web for Game of Thrones cakes and things like that. So we spend a lot of time on them, and we have Game of Thrones viewing parties, and I'm so excited for tonight's episode. But yeah, we're huge fans of Game of Thrones, and probably a lot because of that whole revenge of plotline, the run through between everybody and all the backstabbing. I love it.
Do you think that you're going to ever sell your cakes? I mean, that sounds really cool.
No, we can't even eat them because it's like so much labor. It would be like eating your baby. And maybe like Cersei Lannister might eat her baby or something, but like I could not eat the first one we did, our backs were like, it was terrible. You felt like you got in a car accident. And so we didn't eat the next day or the day after. Got it. It just represented so much hard work. So no, I don't think I would sell them. There's no amount of money that would make it worth it to do. It's really just for the experience with the kids and taking pictures and just fun like that. So it's nothing I would do for money. Writing is way easier.
Speaking of writing, let's go back to the writing.
Okay.
So what is a genre that you would like to write in that you haven't done before, and what is a genre that you will never write in?
Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so I'll say the genre that I have never written that I would love to write would be psychological thrillers. I've written just about everything else. I write romance. I have an erotic romance pen name. I have a YA pen name. I really like to get around if I have an idea. I just like to run with it. Psychological thrillers, I love reading. I'm a huge fan of a lot of psychological thriller authors. I just feel like I would need like 6 months to really dig into the type of thing that I would want to do just for research purposes and to read. A lot of times my books are very character driven and dialogue driven, very snappy, not a whole lot of description, much more character based. And I feel like a lot of times with psychological thrillers, you need to really be a lot more plot centric. So I think I would need more time. And right now I'm with books through the end of this year, so I would need to have a 6 month free slot, and I don't know if that's going to happen for a long time, but I love to read them. I loved Gone Girl and Sharp Objects. I love Gillian Flynn. I love a lot of different authors that write it, Jeffrey Deaver, but I definitely want to write that one day for sure.
And then what's one that you don't want to write in?
I'm going to say, like, it's funny because I love romance novels, but I don't love like the Nicholas Spark romance novels where somebody dies at the end, and it's like, oh, she stood by him through Lou Gehrig's disease. It's just too close to home. Not that I have a friend who lost her husband to a debilitating disease. It's terrible. There's nothing escapist about it to me, and I respect the writing very much in the genre, and I think for some people it's probably cathartic. I read to escape and have fun and to entertain myself, and I write to entertain people. So topics like that are just too hard for me to read and too hard for me to write.
So you kind of like the fluffy then, and you're not really into the hard endings.
Yeah, even I loved In the Fault of Our Stars, the John Green book, which delves into cancer and things like that with kids, teens specifically. And I love John Green's books, and I loved the book. But there was a lot of other things going on besides romance. It was like a coming of age story. It has to have more than just the romance, a really sad romance. I'm just not interested. And I don't mind a deep book. I really like deep books. I just don't want to be heartbroken and sobbing at the end of it. That's just not something I want to do. There's so much sadness in the world in real life. I just know what I want to do with my time. I want to be like, I want a swashbuckling tale. I want to be like, yeah, when I'm done, or just thoroughly entertained. I don't want to be like a sobbing mess. So I definitely wouldn't want to live in those characters' heads and then have to kill one of them off. I feel like I'd be like bedridden and super depressed for like months or something. I don't think I have it in me.
It's really funny you say that because I'm the exact way. I can't read sad books. Hunger Games. Yeah. Oh, my favorite character died, and I ended up in the end of the third book, have a teddy bear, and I fell asleep crying, just holding that down.
Isn't that terrible? You don't want to do that, right? That's not fun.
No, it's not. Oh.
No. If the entertainment value offsets it, I just don't want the ending. Like, people can die. The Harry Potter series I loved, there were many characters that I was brokenhearted. Dobby in particular, I was like inconsolable for days after Dobby died in that book. But like, there's so much other things going on. That's not the central relationship in the story. That person doesn't die. There's action, there's adventure, there's fantasy, there's all these great world building things. But if the story is romance and one of those two people die, I'm just not. Even Brokeback Mountain, I wouldn't watch it. It looks so sad to me. And these two guys have this great love story, and then you just know they're never going to get to be together. I'm like, God, I don't want to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into another Twitter question. And okay. Asks, how many stories have you written before you got the call?
Actually, that's interesting. I got the call with my first story, but I will say that it took a long time, and I did get rejections for other stories before I got the call on that story. So it's not that I was never rejected by a publisher. I did have to do extensive revisions on that first story that did get accepted. So, before probably 10 to 15 times before I signed on with various publishers. And then sort of once you're in, not to say you're in and that they can never reject you, but it's definitely more of a back and forth conversation. It's not. It's almost never. No, we're not going to publish that. It's. Hey, what if you did this? A lot of times with Entangled, I'll contact them first and I'll say, hey, I have an idea. What about this? And the editorial director or my editor or Liz will say, oh, but maybe you should do this instead, or how about we're really looking for a story that does this, or how about this through line or this trope or something like that. And so it's more of a negotiation. It's not really like a acceptance rejection type of thing.
And if you had to choose, which writer would you consider a mentor?
What did you say? I'm sorry?
I said, which author would you consider a mentor?
Oh, a mentor. That's so interesting. Who mentored me? Well, early on, there were authors that I used to be on this forum on the Harlequin boards before I started writing for Carina Press, and authors like Maisie Yates and Michelle Willingham were always very open and very helpful with advice. Donna Allward, and then later when I started writing for other publishers, a lot of times it's not just the authors, it's also editors that kind of take you under their wing, and your publisher or things like that. And so I think there's so many people who helped me in my career I can't even begin to count. It's really limitless. The romance community is so supportive and helpful and open. I mean, I felt like there were people who were like, this happened, and you'd ask a question and they'd say, like, email me, I'll give you all the details, or here's what you should look for in a contract, or here's the person to talk to about this, and this is a great way to pitch it. And if you're willing to put the work in and you want to write romance, there is a wealth of information and people willing to share it out there. I never say no to someone asking questions. I'm an open book. I try to share all the information that I can with people who ask. I feel like knowledge is power, and we're in a great position as authors now, better than we've ever been with the internet and having e-publishers and having multiple platforms and ways we can publish, not really having to sit there with this giant manuscript and mail it off into the Pony Express system and wait for 10 months for somebody to get back to you and just sit there writing in your room alone. You have a network now. You're not alone. If I feel, I've been in the house for 3 days writing like a crazy person, I have a network of people that I can reach out to via the web who understand exactly what I'm going through, and I think it's great that authors have that now, because even 10, 15, 20 years ago it was very different.
So you keep saying that you give advice. So what's some advice that you would give aspiring writers?
I think the first and foremost is to learn your craft. There are a lot of great free or super cheap workshops out there. This is not something, sometimes you'll see like vanity publishers who will whip your book into shape and do all this stuff. This is all stuff you can and should do on your own before you send it. SavvyAuthors.com is a really great website where they offer all sorts of workshops very, very inexpensively, sometimes free for members. It's like $25 a year or something like that as a membership fee. And they have best-selling authors doing workshops, editors doing workshops. Take the workshop. You don't have to leave your house. You can take it at your leisure most times. And there's a great one, Angela James, who is works over at Carina Press, and she does a great workshop called Before You Hit Send, and it touches on a lot of new author mistakes, things that you don't even realize that you're doing, and we all do them. And the way to sort of put your best foot forward and not immediately identify yourself as a beginner is to get those things in order beforehand. get a critique group. That was one of the best things I ever did for myself. Go on some online forums and let people know you're looking, and try to find someone who's at the same point in their career as you are. If you're just starting out, try to find some other newbies. Try to learn together. Share information back and forth. Exchange work. Let people read it, because your friends and family are going to be helpful to some degree. Sometimes they're not even. But other authors, especially authors who have gone a little ways into the process and are working on the same genre or subgenre as you are, they can be just a wealth of information and help too. So I think those are important things. Lastly, go on some websites like Absolute Right, or look around, get information about the publishers that you're sending your work to. Find out if there's buzz. I mean, there's no publisher in the world that's not going to have one author that feels, slighted, or somebody who's not happy. But if the general consensus is that people seem to feel that publisher is fair and things are good there and they have a fair contract, then that's good. That's something you might want to explore. But if you see a lot of bad reviews about the same publisher, you may want to think twice and look elsewhere. But the information is out there. You just have to be willing to look for it. And I think you never want an editor to send something back to you and say, unfortunately this is for publication, and have it be because you didn't take the time to do your part, which is to make sure you have a clean, edited, well-written manuscript that follows their guidelines to a T. I'd say probably 60% of the stuff that goes into the slush pile to publishers is sloppily edited, or there's things that don't meet their criteria. If they're asking for 40 to 50,000 words, don't send them 60,000 words. Edit that 10,000 words out yourself. You're going to be ahead of the game if you do that. Just simple stuff, but it's you got to put in the time. You have to put in the time. That's the big.
And now we're going to play a very new game that I have never played with another author. I'm so excited. So it's called... Okay. It's called Marry, Kiss, or Kill. And if you don't know what that is, and this is book edition, by the way, I'm going to name 3 characters, and then you have to marry one, kiss one, or kill one.
Okay.
Ready? So I'm going to go the first one, and then you have to, you can't just say your answer, you have to tell us why. So the first one is Jaime Lannister, Tyrone Lannister, and Daenerys. Don't know her last name. Yes, Targaryen.
Targaryen. Okay, so Tyrion Lannister being the imp, right? Okay, and Jaime Lannister. Okay, so I have to kiss one, kill one, and marry one. Yes. Okay, I'm going to kiss Jaime Lannister, because I love him now. I feel like he's really redeemed himself, although, I don't know. Okay, wait, no, I have to change it. I'm going to marry Daenerys Targaryen, because that would make me queen too, eventually, and I'd have dragons, and it's all about the dragons. Okay, and then I would kiss Tyrion Lannister, because he's adorable and funny, and I guess I'd have to kill Jaime Lannister. I hate this game. Oh, I don't want to kill any of those people. Can I kill Lord Baelish Littlefinger? I hate him.
Okay, we'll just add him. You can kill him then.
Okay, I'll kill him.
If you don't like that, you're probably not going to like the other ones. So we'll go with another one that's easier, maybe. Would you marry?
What's the other one? No, I know.
They're all book characters, so if you invest your time in them, you might not want to kill them. So this will make it even more fun.
Okay.
So the next one, would you either marry, kiss, or cliff Edward, Jacob, or Bella from Twilight?
Oh, jeez. Okay, I like Jacob. I'll marry Jacob. Can I kill the other two?
Sure.
I'll marry Jacob. I'll marry Jacob. I'll kiss Edward, and I'll cliff Bella.
Okay. And then the next one is Harry Potter, Ron, or Hermione.
Okay, I'll marry Ron. Oh, Oh no, this is so sad. I'll kiss Harry and I'll kill Hermione.
And then the last one, because I'll put you through one more, is
Yes.
Peeta, Gale, or Katniss.
Uh, I'll marry Peeta. I'll kill Gale and I'll kiss Katniss.
Okay, and that concludes our first game. Are you traumatized?
Pretty much. I'm just pretending it didn't happen. I'm just pretending that didn't happen. I was hoping it'd be like a Malfoy in there or something that I could cling to.
You know, that's a really good idea. See, I'm learning, so I think then next time I'm gonna put in a character that people don't really like to make it easier.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know what's funny about that though? People don't like Severus Snape, and he's actually my favorite character. So if he had been an option, I would have married him because I love Alan Rickman, and I always knew Snape was a hero, and I still think he's a hero. I feel like he was the hero of the whole book, which people argue with me about, but I don't care. I love him anyway.
Okay, so I'll know that for next time. We're learning here. And now we're gonna play our second game
Okay.
called Would You Rather?
Okay.
Literature edition. And for those of you who don't know what Would You Rather is, I would say to you, would you rather eat apples or oranges for the rest of your life? And then you have to say apples
Okay.
or oranges. So the first one is, would you rather live in the world of Hunger Games or Divergent?
Ah. Ah. Oh. No.
None
No,
of
I
them?
would not. Okay, I'd rather live in the world of Hunger Games because odds are you're not going to get picked. Um, and Divergent, you have no choice. Like you're going to be stuck in one of those crappy situations. So I guess I'll say Hunger Games. Plus, I like the concept of Hunger Games. Like I really like I love scavenger hunts and survivor type games and things like that. And I try to do stuff with that with my kids all the time. And we um shoot bows and arrows at targets and stuff, and so that all appeals to me. If everybody didn't die at the end of it, that would be much better. But so I'll say I'd rather live in the world of Hunger Games. Yes.
Number two is, would you fight next to Hermione from Harry Potter, Katniss from Hunger Games, or Tris from Divergent?
Uh, I wish I knew what the circumstances were, like zombie apocalypse or like this is tough because see I feel like Hermione would have all that magic behind her, so that'd be awesome. But as far as just sheer like bow hunting skills, I'd have to go with Katniss. Um, I'm gonna say Hermione.
Would you rather read a book that is written poorly but has an excellent story, or read one with weak content but is written well?
Oh, of course, there's a gnat flying around me now. Okay, ugh, I would rather. I would. The problem is now that I've been writing for so long, it's very difficult for me to turn off my internal editor. So I get really irritated with poorly written books. I would have a hard time with that, but I don't want to read like excellently written drivel either. So I'm gonna go with story and hope that I could sort of start to look past it as I got into it more. I'll go with a well-told story that wasn't written exactly perfectly.
Who would you rather have as bleh, who would you rather have as a child, Harry Potter or Hermione Granger?
Harry Potter. He's sweet. Um, yeah, he's sweet. I think Hermione's too much like me. I think we would butt heads. We can't both know it all, so.
Would you rather write novels where all the characters are women or all men for the rest of your writing career?
Uh, wow, that's a tough one. I guess I'll say women. I really love writing men, but I think women can be super nefarious in a way that a lot of men can't. So I feel like I can delve deeper into a woman's psyche. So I'm going to say women.
Would you rather only write your books in trilogies or standalones?
Oh, I would rather write in trilogies. I really enjoy series. I feel like readers like it too. I like to read them. I feel like you get sort of to connect with them longer and live with them for a longer period of time. So I would much prefer to write a trilogy.
Would you rather write a book without using conjunctions or have every sentence of your book begin with one?
Oh God. I guess without. Oh God, that would be so tedious though. But if I had to pick, I'd say without.
Would you rather write a plot twist you hated or write a character you hated?
A plot twist I hated. I I love my characters. I have to love my characters, or I don't want to write them, and I end up stalling out at a point. So yeah, a plot twist I can fix that later. I can sort of end around and do something I don't know and fix it or somehow salvage it. If you don't like your characters, and I don't mean you don't even have to like them. They can be bad characters, but you can still love your character. So I feel like if I can't connect with the characters and relate, and readers can't connect and relate, nobody cares what happens anyway. You could have the best plot twist in the world, and nobody's gonna give a crap about it. You know, I always point to the movie Up, the Pixar movie Up, when I talk about characters because yeah, because the character of Ellie is on screen for such a short time, and they have that like 3 minute or 4 minute montage where I weep every time it starts. As soon as the music starts, I weep the entire time, like sobbing loud, snot, like weeping. And the kids are like, "Why do you keep watching this? Why do you keep watching this?" And I'm like, "Because this is storytelling. This is a character. This is like a lesson in character building. If you've made me fall in love with this character in like 10 minutes of celluloid of this drawn cartoon. It's not even a real person, and I am so invested. And that part, during the montage, it's just music and little vignettes and images, and just the whole thing. I have chills just thinking about it right now. I love her, and that's storytelling to me. I would follow her anywhere. I would watch her do anything, and so I think that's what I want to see is a story of people and relationships. That's super interesting to me. That's what would compel me to follow them. The story is secondary to me, for sure, to the characters.
Would you rather a super successful movie be made from one of your books or a long-lasting television series?
Ah, that's interesting. Super successful movie or long-lasting television series? I think a movie. I love TV, but I think it'd be super grand, And I love movies too. We're big movie buffs. We go to the movies probably twice a month with my family, and I would love to go to the big screen and kind of see it all laid out. And yeah, I think that'd be super fun. Plus, series, I feel like I'm a nervous person, so I'd be afraid it would get like canceled or really quick or something like that, or I'd be constantly worried. The movie, one movie's gonna come out, it's either gonna do well or not. So I'd take the movie.
And then the last one is, would you rather critics rip your book apart publicly or never talk about it at all?
Um, I guess, hmm, I guess rip my book apart publicly. That means somebody's reading, which is always good. I never mind reviews, good or bad. So I think if people are reading, that's good. The rest is on me. So to try to give them a good story and deliver what I'm promising on. So yeah, I would prefer that.
And that concludes our game.
Yay!
Yay!
Did we
And
win?
yeah, you won. You got an A
Yay!
plus and a gold star. Good job.
Look at me. That's so much better than I did in school. That's awesome.
Yep, yep. And that also concludes our chat. So now I'm going to talk about the giveaway.
Okay.
Christine here is going to give away $25 Amazon or Barnes & Noble, your choice.
Yep.
This is international, but if it's international, we have to email you the gift card, not send it via the mail. And then this ends May 18th, and in order to win, you have to, this live chat will become a YouTube video, and once it's a YouTube video, comment on the video. And then number 2, this is optional, follow Christine on Twitter. And if you do follow her, then put your username in the comments so I can verify that entry. And I was going to say something about that. Oh, yeah, I'll put Christine's Twitter username in the description so you don't have to Google it. And yeah, that's it. Comment on the video, and then extra points, follow Christine on Twitter. So that's it. I had, what?
If you comment on the video on Twitter, you can't comment on Christine's double chin, otherwise you lose points. Ouch.
Yeah,
if you say how pretty she looks, you get double points.
No. Disqualification if you say anything nasty about her. I'll even delete your comment, so it doesn't even matter. So that's it. Thank you so much, Christine. I had a wonderful time talking to you.
Me too. I'm going to play that game with everybody now. Would you rather do something terrible or something even worse?
Oh, I know.
Thanks so much.
It was a disaster.
No, it was great. It was fun. You made me work. You made me work for it. I like it.
I did. But you were also traumatized, so I feel horrible.
Okay. I'll have a drink. I'm gonna go have a glass of wine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye. I had fun.